everybody. I'm Larry.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This will be fielded at the 6. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They'll be led out by their 6'2 quarterback out of San Jose State. It's David Fales. Throwing his Fales. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. And they brought the pressure there just right up the gut, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And, you know, when you've got so many different responsibilities as an offensive line, you got to deal with the nose tackle, the 2 defensive tackles or ends, and then sometimes you just can't account for everyone. The linebacker slipped free.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front and then maybe a guard can slide up to the second level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. Some mistakes already in the first quarter. If he holds on to that one, 1st down.
Yeah, and I'll guarantee you that at least one defensive back out there has reminded him of that fact, trying to get into his head and hoping that'll affect him the rest of the game.
It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return, and it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. James on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pickup there at 22. Now James. Throwing on 1st down. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
To throw is James on 1st and 10. He's got Fuller. And he gets it down to the 32. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. Here's James. Off play action. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. And a nice gain of 21 yards. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. And now a first down following that long gain. Looking to throw. James. And he slings one that's incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
10 yards still left on second down. James now going to throw again. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That catch good for 5. It's third down. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They'll look to throw again. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Cody Parkey is on now for the point after. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This one taken from the 7. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they'll be looking to start fresh. Just a moment ago, they were backed up, coughed up the football, and then saw it go the other way for 6 points.
I just wonder, partner, sometimes they put such an emphasis on things. And, you know, in that situation, as they ran out there, they were told, take care of the football, don't cough it up. And sometimes that's the last thing you hear, and that's exactly what you do.
James throwing to start the drive. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Second down now after the pass completion. Now James off the play fake. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. Back to throw. James Over the middle, complete. It's Brooks. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. The 21 yards there as they convert on third. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. And oh, his first carry, he loses the football. And now he'll tuck it and run. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Offense with a fumble, but they recover it, and it brings up second down. Looking to throw. James. And that'll be incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
To throw is James. To throw on third down. Hard throw, incomplete.
That open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And the Giants send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups. The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he'll bring it back to the 9-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed.
And he's going to bull his way into the end zone for a Giants touchdown. A great effort effort there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Second effort there. He was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
A try here for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
And to give this time to the tailback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 good yards there on the run, and now 3rd down.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. Now fails. And this is going to be incomplete. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this will be taken at the 13. You call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And New York set to take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown. Now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Here's James on 1st down. And that is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. Now a handoff as they run left side. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it. Rest of the game. And it does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tacklers.
And the defenders know it too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know what the rule is. First guy hold up the runner. Everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 7-all is the score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with a football here as we begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. James now from the gun, he'll throw, and he fires one incomplete.
Partner's not just a little slot receivers, get a little trepidation going across the middle. Even the big guys, even guys like a tight end, they got a little concern going across there, going through the briar patch.
Maybe hearing some footsteps, getting a little gator arm. So the incomplete pass brings up second down. And he'll give it here to his running back. Bowls him over. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick.
He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. Touchdown, Giants. A big play there with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Giants have taken the lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hall. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
A lot of receivers see the drag route as a risk-reward type of a play. The risk, going into the middle of the field where there's some big people want to hit you. But the reward is oftentimes you get lost in coverage, running a little bit underneath. And when you catch it just right, as we just saw there, the end result can be a big, big play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. He'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Shaw. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down. On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The Dolphins on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Here we go. Blue line it. Blue line it.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. This is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Giants are going to get the football back. He'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here. 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
James throwing on 1st down. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. They run a draw here on 2nd down. He'll be dropped at the 30. The first broken tackle couldn't bust him free. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
Now James on 3rd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Caught on the right side by Adams. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Here we go. Green 39.
Off the play fake. James to the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, Did a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. And the Giants send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And I never played quarterback, but I'm thinking as a quarterback, you're a little bit into the game now. Second quarter, you're losing. You're not playing well. Probably feels like a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Certainly does, but it's something that quarterbacks have to be used to because they're always carrying around that weight. So how do they adjust the weight? How do they make it work for them? How do they work against it? That's what we're going to find out going forward.
Yeah, he'll be trying to get all that weight off his shoulders here on this drive.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And the Giant rush gets home as down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 16.
Here we go. Blue landing.
They'll look to throw here. And that is incomplete. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And New York set to take the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
To throw is James on 1st and 10. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And on 2nd and 10 now.
Here we go. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Don't forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go.
Here's James operating from the gun. He's going to air one out. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. Trying to find some space to operate, and now they'll have it. A gain of 12, a big first down to get away from the end zone.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throw left side complete. That's Gray. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The Dolphins on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Let's go.
They'll look to throw, and this is going to be incomplete. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. James now on first down. Over the middle, complete. That's Adams. A gain of 6 there on first.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. James looking to throw on 2nd down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Adams. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Now James throwing on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. They'll run it now out of the gun. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock.
Let's go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. And the Giants send out their punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's just been looking for some space. You know, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Gun. They'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's great. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Back to throw. And that is incomplete. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. To throw on second down. James. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The Giants on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. Here it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw. James. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's 4th.
I know we're just in the second quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his second drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. So we have come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando. He's standing by with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you guys in a minute. But first, it's indeed time for our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Dolphins are behind right now, but the home crowd should give them a boost. The Giants have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Giants with possession halfway through one. Ball's going to be up for grabs here. Dolphins will pick up the loose football and score as they take a 7-0 lead. Offense out now after the fumble. Reynolds got nothing but space here, and he'll end up sprinting into the end zone. The Giants tied up at 7. Giants now late in the first. James is going to complete the pass, and he'll end up at their own 40-yard line before being tackled. Giants still on the field. Reynolds is going to break into the secondary, and he'll go in from 45 yards out. Giants is up now by 7.
Thank you, LR. Appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yours.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw is James. To throw on second down. The Giants on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
I like what they were thinking on defense. Just guard the first down sticks. Don't let anyone pass that. Didn't matter whether they threw it or ran it. They just ended up rallying to the football in the running play and stopped them short of a first down.
And the Giants send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back from the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And he's got some space here. Space to maneuver at the 40. 23 yards on the play. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Green, 39. Green.
Looking to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down.
But once again, a good example of situational football. That was 3rd and very long, so you know they were guarding against the pass. And when they decided to run the ball, that was okay. Whatever yardage they picked up, as long as they didn't get to the 1st down marker, the defense was willing to concede, and they stopped them well short of a 1st down.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Giants. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he rifles one incomplete. Second down now after the incompletion.
Let's go. Green, 39.
And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. So that one will be accepted. And he'll give it here to his running back. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Now, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Here we go now.
Here's James. From the gun, he'll throw. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Oh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. This is taken at the 18.
That strong return has set them up nicely for this drive, and we all know the next score is going to have a major impact on this game.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical. Spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it physically. You just have to win it by position. That may open things up for your running backs.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to make it 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on to kick it away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
Only able to make it to the 15 after the broken tackle. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
James now to throw on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
That's a first down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a 4th down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, 1st down. And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try and open things up in the run game.
They'll drop the throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
They always say that real estate is about location. Well, guess what? When it's a slant route, the quick ones, timing. Got to be able to lead your man with the football.
And the timing off right there, threw it behind him. The Dolphins on third down, a very anemic, 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll set up a throw. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Can't get away, and he's taken down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Only able to get it to his own 20 after breaking through the contact. Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 to be exact.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
.46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And they will not have time to get another play in here as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This will be 3rd and 6.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
Third and 11, and some extra depth to the secondary here. They're in the dime.
Let's go. Green 39.
Back to throw here. And this is going to be incomplete. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Detroit.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45. So 2nd down was a run play. Now let's see what they do on 3rd.
Let's go.
James operating from the gun. He finds his target, Fuller. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Now they'll run on the draw. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. Operating from the gun, James. And he whips that one incomplete there. Jarrell Adams, the tight end, was the target. And it's 3rd down. Now James on 3rd down. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Call it a gain of 3. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And the Giants send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game now. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And some space here. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll look to throw here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Second down here after the incomplete pass. They'll set up to throw. It's caught by Carew. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Dolphins on third down. They've been stymied left and right. Converted only one time. Here it's 3rd and 2. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Scott. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long.
Here we go. 3-19.
Throwing his fails. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion.
Let's go.
To throw is James. Off play action. And this one is incomplete.
The best receivers we know always tease their quarterbacks that, hey, no matter what you do, you cannot overthrow me. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened on that play. Normally, they time it up pretty well, but on that one, he just overshot him.
Oh, they come after him, and it's blocked. It's picked up. Remember, the ball is live. Well, they need a touchdown here in the fourth in a one-score game, and that block punt, that really helped.
And it doesn't matter whether it was schemed that way or someone made a great individual effort or there was a breakdown. They got exactly what they needed. And right now, in this field position, they've got to be in attack mode on offense.
So now here come the Dolphins. And, you know, their previous possession, they were able to move the football but still wound up punting in the end.
You know, in 2016, Carolina had a 20-play drive that lasted over 10 minutes. And remember how it ended?
And a punt.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? You just don't see that happen every day.
This one maybe not quite that bad, but still, you'd like to have a chance for points if you hold the football that long.
Agreed.
It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Just a yard, but that's all they needed. And by the slimmest of margins, it'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Marquise Gray, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins have taken the lead here in the 4th. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken near the 13. Yeah, a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Back to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Adams. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves his sticks. They'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Adams. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Clock rolling as the Giants will hurry to the line. He's back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Adams. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. He'll look to throw. And this is caught at the 8. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Looking to throw. James. His pass caught at the 4. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. Clock rolling as the Giants will hurry to the line. Back to throw. James. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. James. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one, because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. 1 possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. So 2nd and 10 here.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now fails. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one, because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They're going to look to throw. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
Now back to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. Now they do indeed get the timeout, so all is not lost. They'll have a chance for one final heave to the end zone. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperate... And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Ross Cockrell. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here. Coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it. And they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for the Giants, a final win here means they'll finish at 14-2. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, the loss here is their 10th of the season. And it will be a disappointing finish to the regular season, no doubt. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. And with that, we sign off from Miami.